Dear democracy, the cards have spoken. Welcome to my channel where it's all about spiritual guidance for empowerment, support, and hope in these chaotic times. I'm your High Priestess of Hope, and let's get to it. Today we're doing a pick a card reading for all you American federal workers who have been wrongfully terminated. Let's get you the spiritual info on what you need, the why you need it, and a practical path forward. Hang in there. We are with you. Take a look at the 3 card piles, choose the one that you are most drawn to, and go to the timestamp below. If you feel called to more than one, feel free to watch them both or all, as there will be something in there that is meant for you to hear. And please take what works for you and leave the rest behind. Resonance is discernment, and we all need more of that right now. Here we go. Pile 1, you have chosen the Howlite Quartz, and we are pulling cards for you today from the Dream Within Dreams Tarot. So our first question is, what do I need to know about this transition and how it serves my highest good? Oh, these cards are speaking to you very clearly. So we have the 4 of Wands. And what you need to know about this transition and how it's going to be for your highest good is that it is creating a new foundation. The foundation that you were on, it was falsely stable. It was an illusion. And many of the, the systems, the approaches, even the personalities in there, it was draining. It was not necessarily something that you felt alive doing. It served its purpose. And for those of you, who did really enjoy the work that you were doing, I feel like the environment was not sustainable. And it's not sustainable if the collective that is within there is not in agreement. 4 of Wands is the marriage card, the contracts card. This is the let's acknowledge and celebrate who we are. Let's acknowledge and celebrate what it is that we have built together. And this all, in essence, it's not right the way it's being done, but it needs to come down so that we are all in a situation where we can be clear with one another and clear with ourselves about what it is that we need. So what you need to know about this particular transition and how it serves your highest and best, I feel like it removed you from a contract, soul contract or otherwise, that you were eventually going to feel trapped in. Like you were not happy. You were not celebrating the connection, celebrating what was growing, what was being built, what was being offered. I feel a lot of inauthenticity. And you, pile 1, you are an authentic person. And you wanted to do good and you wanted to have your paycheck. And I feel like what's transpiring here is there's going to be a new way forward, but you needed to be broken out of that contract in order to get where I feel like your guides are wanting to take you. And we're going to pull a card from the Divine Feminine Oracle here and ask the question, how can I best process the emotions I'm experiencing around this loss? And I chose this Divine Feminine deck because we are in a time where the Divine Feminine is rising. And in your situation right now, you need a little of that Divine Feminine, whether it's the Divine Feminine warrior or whether it's the Divine Feminine nurturer or the Divine Feminine lover to give you that comfort and that support. Ooh, we have Ananda Maya Ma, the joy-permeated mother. I am my own guru. I know that self never changes. So I feel like this card is coming through to focus on the joy. Even though this situation is awful, even though this situation is upsetting, it's shocking, you may or may not have something to go to right away. There's a lot of fear that comes when we have a great loss like this. Your guides are saying, get into the joy of it. Focus on the silver linings, even if that's all you can look at with this, is the silver linings, or the, I want to say the gratitude piece. Finding things that you are grateful for helps to raise your spirit, raise your vibrations, and helps you to generate more of that joy, more of that gratitude. Even if some days the gratitude that you can come up with in that moment is, I took a breath and opened my eyes this morning. And sometimes that's what it feels like. But don't despair. I feel like this particular divine feminine archetype is coming through because she's saying, I don't need anybody else to tell me what I need to do. I know that the joy is within me. And because it's within me, nobody can take that from me. I'm being called to the thought, the understanding, the concept that even a person who is in prison, we say, their freedoms and their liberties are taken away, but nobody can actually get into their minds, their thought processes, their imaginings. Nobody can get in there but them. That is a private space for them and them alone. And I feel like this is appropriate here. Remind yourself that you do have that sacred part of you that you can lean into. And I want to say everything shifts, everything changes, and this too will shift and change. Nothing can, I want to say, stay the same for a long period of time without it outgrowing its usefulness. And in essence, I feel like that's what has transpired with this particular governmental position for you right now. No, it is not fair. It's not fair at all. This is that, how do I bring more joy into the space? Because I have the resources within me. I know the self that never changes. Everything else around me changes, but myself, who I am at my core, it's up to me to decide. And that's where the power is at. And now we are going to pull another tarot card. What hidden opportunities might this unexpected change be leading me towards? Ooh, this is a good one. Three of Swords, an opportunity for self-care. So pile one, I really feel like this is the big issue for you right now, is you were already feeling a bit burned out. And, perhaps it was the fear of not understanding all of what was going to transpire moving forward with the new administration. Or you were just already burned out because you got 57,000 balls that you're juggling in the air. I feel like the Three of Swords is coming up to say it's time for you to give yourself the space to take a breather, take a break. Yes, when we lose our jobs, there is that sense of panic. There is that sense of urgency. I need to get another job now. I need to start looking for it right now. I'm going to encourage you to take maybe 1 or 2 hours a day to do that work. And then take a couple of hours to do something that brings you joy, to do something that makes you laugh, to do something that gets you out of your head. It's actually a misnomer that the harder we work and the more effort we put into something, the more we're going to get out of it. That may have been the way for our parents and our grandparents, but it is not the way of the world today. And energetically, you need to put more focus on you, making sure that your physical body is taken care of, that emotionally you're being nurtured and supported. What can you do? Who can you reach out to? Who is your support system for these times? This is the time to do that now. I'm seeing a message for someone in particular. You need to go to that park that you always go to. Bring your little bag lunch and sit on the bench and just observe, watch, be in your happy place. Whatever your happy place is, whether it's a park bench or whether it's Red Rocks in Sedona like me, I feel like this is the space and the place that you want to be connecting with. And now we are going to pull another tarot card. How can I rebuild my confidence and sense of purpose after this experience? Even though you didn't do anything to bring about this consequence, you got fired because there was a unilateral decision made by individuals who just don't care. And that's really unfortunate, because it's easier to say, well, I did this or I did that, or it's easier to kind of point the finger and place blame, right? In this situation, I feel like it's less important to put your focus on that and more important to put your focus on, where am I going? Where am I growing? So how can you rebuild your confidence and sense of purpose? I love it. Knight of Cups, romance yourself. Give yourself love. I want to say, take yourself out on a date. If you are in a committed partnership, go out on a date, and do your best to not focus on what you don't have right now. Focus instead on the imaginings of what you do have, or what you can create. The Knight of Cups is all about imagining and idealism and romanticism. It's the grand gesture. It's the movie Say Anything, John Cusack, holding the ghetto blaster up, to her window to get her attention, to let her know that he loved her and that he cared about her. I feel like this is how you can boost yourself up, is you can romance yourself. You can play in that imagination space. And sometimes the word idealism gets a bit of a bad rap, because it implies that there's someone who's a little fanciful and not really paying attention to the reality of things. But I want to say to you right now, from a co-creation perspective, that's exactly what we need. We need to co-create that new vision. We need to recognize, okay, it hurts that this was taken away from me, perhaps ripped away from me, and I was not prepared. So I give myself my moment, I lick my wounds, and then I regroup and I say, okay, how do I take this and make it work for me? How do I kick ass and take names? If money wasn't the issue, if the job wasn't the issue, what would I be wanting to do right now? What would light my fire and float my boat? And what would bring a little more creativity and a little more pizzazz to my day? That's where you want to be allowing the mind to go and flow. Because even if you don't know what that job looks like right now, the fact that you're activating it in the mind means that you're telling the universe, this is what I'm ready for. This is what I'm opening myself to. This is the energy that I'm connecting to. And the universe will respond in kind. Okay, we're going to pull a little affirmation for you guys right now. And bear with me here. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm still getting used to my setup and just kind of practicing some things out. So this affirmation is going to tell us what mindset shift will help me move forward with strength and clarity. And this is my favorite affirmations deck. It's the Sweet Ass Affirmations from Rage Create. And, I feel like it's pretty fitting. I don't know about you guys, but I have a lot of rage these days. So it helps me to focus my energy. Oh, this is a great one, pal one. I forgive those who have harmed me in the past and peacefully but powerfully detach from them. Oh, so this is the key to your happiness. This is the secret to your strength and your clarity. This is how you take back your power. This is quite frankly how you say fuck you. You say fuck you in a way that empowers you and not them, right? It empowers you and not them. We forgive we don't forgive for other people, we forgive for ourselves. We forgive to heal ourselves. And I think that's really, really powerful. Oh, I love that for you guys. Okay. And we're going to pull another tarot card. What support or resources should I seek out to navigate this transition? Yeah, these cards are really speaking to you today. We got two. Okay, Queen of Wands and, oh my goodness, the King of Wands. Check this out. It's almost like you put them together and it's like one full bird, right? One full phoenix. Check this out, the King of Wands. So really powerful that the King and Queen of Wands are coming up when we're talking about the support and resources. So again, it's dipping into your passion. It's using your anger in a constructive way. King and Queen of Wands, also I want to say to you in pile ones, there are a lot of you in here that need to hear this message. The King and Queen of Wands are the entrepreneurial cards. These are the business owners. These are the badass bosses. So many of you Pile Ones have been toying with the idea of starting up a new business, going into your own business. And I feel like that's why you've been removed from this particular contract, because it's time now to take your livelihood into your own hands. No longer allowing this idea that I have to have someone else giving me a paycheck in order for me to survive and thrive. What you've learned, a hard truth that you've learned right now, is that's not necessarily so. Right? And I know a lot of you governmental workers that for years and years, I mean, as long as I've been on this planet, it's been a known fact that if you get a government job, you're pretty much safe. You're pretty much set for the rest of your life, right? If you choose that, or the rest of your career. Well, we live in the upside down right now. We are in that moment of chaos. We are in the Phoenix, and we're in the Phoenix burning. You know, we're in that tarot, in that Tower card. So I feel like the King and Queen are coming together to say, put some structure and organization around your passions and start the business. Take action on this, because any little tiny action that you're going to take now towards yourself is going to have huge successful consequences, and consequences can be good as well as bad. So these are going to be wonderful times for you to be able to activate something, to get something into motion, to get the ball rolling. And astrologically, I feel like the aligned planets are going to support this action. Oh my goodness. I mean, you can't make that up. Wow, that is so powerful. And, you know, Queen of Wands, she kicks ass and takes names, right? She doesn't have a safety net under her. She's the only queen that doesn't live with a safety net. Everybody else has got a safety net. And she's kind of like, listen, it sucks that I don't have a safety net under me, but that just motivates me even more to dot the I's, cross the T's. And it gives me the permission to go and choose to explore what I want to explore. The other queens, I want to say, kind of follow suit. Queen of Wands says, burn that shit down, you know, like, get it out of my way. I'm gonna clear my own path. I'm gonna use the fire to my advantage. The fire is my friend. The fire is a purifier. The fire is a cleanser. So that's really, really cool. All right, how can I reframe this situation as a chance for personal and professional growth? Oh, and I love it. So you've also got the Empress. And the Empress card, sorry about all the cat hair here. The Empress card, the number 3. 3 is all about creation, collaboration. And the Empress says, listen, I've got everything you could possibly want, everything you could possibly need, all right here. All you have to do is help yourself. Go within, figure out what it is that you want, grab a basket at the back door, and go and fill that basket up from my garden. Take the fruit, take the vegetables, you know, take a few vines if you want so that you can plant them for yourself. Get some fresh spring water or well water. It's all there for you, but you've got to take the step to make it happen. You've got to say yes to it. So reframing the situation, I feel like the Empress is coming through to say, you never actually really needed what this job was giving you. Sure, we all need money. Abso-freaking-lutely. That is the world that we live in. Money makes the world go round. But you didn't necessarily need it in this way. It didn't need to come to you in this way. There was a lot of stress. There was a lot of you feeling like the Empress and not really being able to live out the truth of your Empress, because you're, you know, always under the gun, always having to do things that, you know, I want to say maybe didn't align with your beliefs or your purpose, or just didn't light your fire. So the Empress is saying, let's create something new. Let's let you out of the, I want to say, sort of the darker parts of the body, right? Like, come on out for air. Come on up and sit in the sun. The Empress wants to share her abundance with you. And I want to say the job that you were in, it was giving you a false sense of abundance and security. It was keeping you trapped in many ways on a spiritual level. And peeps, let me tell you, On a physical level, in the 3D, I say these things and I'm like, all right, dream team, why don't you come down and live this life for a little while and then tell me, all these wonderful spiritual platitudes. But I promise you, both can be true. And if that statement is true, that we can have both and, that also means that then you get to choose which one you lean into for power, for strength, for your next path and direction. And that is important. And now we're going to pull a card from the Lantern Oracle deck, get a little oracle energy here. What next step should I take to find stability and new opportunities? So we were already talking about, for those of you that have had entrepreneurial leanings, now is the time, seize the day. For those of you who are not necessarily in that space, and you are, I want to say, wanting to shine your light and hone your zone of genius in an environment that is inviting and encouraging and exciting and all of those things. Here's what we need to do. Oh my goodness, I love it. Radical self-acceptance. You are perceived the way you perceive yourself. Wow. So the next step that you're taking is that radical self-acceptance. Let's talk about radical self-acceptance for a second. This is the perfect example. Even though you woke up this morning and wished that things were different, you woke up from the nightmare and realized, oh my God, it's really true. I did lose my job. I don't know what's next. I'm not sure what the next step is really going to be. That radical self-acceptance says, okay, it is what it is. I am who I am. I am where I am. So knowing that, there's no point in looking at the past. It's about saying, okay, knowing all of the things and where I'm at right now, I need to really focus on where I want to be. And more importantly, how I want to feel. It's not about changing how you feel right now. It's about acknowledging without apology, radical self-acceptance. I feel what I feel. This is shitty now. It sucks. I wish this wasn't the case. And this is the case. This is my reality right now. So what can I do to change and fix that? I can get clear on where I want to go, and I can take steps towards that. So you are perceived the way you perceive yourself. How do you see yourself right now? Do you see yourself as a badass boss potential? Do you see yourself as someone who can light the world on fire with your creations, with your writings, communication, with your accounting? I mean, when I say the word creative, I don't mean you necessarily have to be completely in the traditional creative sense. Again, radical self-acceptance. Work with what is. Yes, of course, you can dream and wish that things were a little bit different. That's very human. But pay attention to how far it's getting you. And sometimes we get into that rut and it keeps us stuck. It keeps us on the merry-go-round. So radical self-acceptance is how you can find stability and new opportunities. Here's where I am. Here's what's happening. Here's who I want to be moving forward. If I accept myself for who I am, it helps me to decide who I'm going to be moving forward. It makes things clearer, simpler. I don't have to overthink. I don't have to overanalyze. And how can I align myself with a career path that brings both security and fulfillment? So I'm feeling like some of you need to hear that, we talk about like happiness is an inside job. I feel like alignment is an inside job. Nobody can tell you what is going to feel aligned for you. You've got to be connected to your body. You've got to be willing to be in the body. And I feel like some of you right now are like, stop the world, I want to get off, right? And, I totally get that. I completely understand that. Don't get stuck in that though, because if you get stuck in that and you're living in your head, or you're living in the past and you're not in the present moment, you're also not in the body. And when you're not in the body, you cannot manifest things into the physical. You can't make anything tangible. And now more so than ever before, you want to make things tangible. Even if you don't know the specifics of it, you know how you want to feel in your next job. Oh my God, I just woke up this morning and it's so exciting to know that I'm starting it's my first day at this new job. And it's a job that I never would have looked for had I not had this contract broken. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited to be able to preen my feathers and strut my stuff because wow, I'm going to really make a difference. Oh, I love it. And the card that you got is 9 of coins. 9 is endings, resolutions, conclusions, coins, pentacles, thoughts becoming things in the tangible. This is a card of gratitude. It's a card of arrival. This is a card of the pianist who looks back on their life, their first day, sitting down at the piano and learning their first lesson with their piano teacher. And, they plucked out a few keys and, it didn't sound very good and they didn't have a lot of flow and they were awkward and they didn't know a lot. But now fast forward to where they are right now, they just did a beautiful concert. And they did a concert in New York at the Metropolitan Theater and the Opera Theater, and they've arrived. And it's about reflecting on how far you've come. And it's reflecting on the work and the effort that it took, acknowledgement of the work and the effort that you have put in to getting to where you are now. This is definitely going to help you to align yourself. And I want to say, hone your zone of genius. What are the things that do get you excited? What are the things about your work and your job and your career and maybe just things in life that it makes you get out of bed with excitement. It makes you want to get out of bed at 6 a.m. And I'm not a morning person, so there are a few things that will get me that excited, but that's how important it needs to be. You want to connect with that energy in that way. Oh, I love that. 9 of coins. And look at how beautiful these cards are. Look at all of the yellow. The yellow is solar plexus chakra energy, our identity, mastery, personal power, co-creation, boundaries, transformation. This is an invitation for you to transform yourself. Yeah, you weren't expecting it. You would have liked to have, I want to say, been in charge of it or chosen how things, would go better. But again, radical acceptance. It is what it is. Radical self-acceptance. I am who I am. And, there's no point in looking backwards. It's all about looking forwards. Where do I want to be? So now we're going to get a message from your higher self about your future, and we're going to get it in a key word. And this card deck is the Draconis Loqui from Raven Felon, I believe is her last name. Okay, so we got the burden card, and I feel like what you want to be really considering is this job that has been unceremoniously taken away from you. Was it a burden? If you look at it, if you get right to the heart of it, yes, it solved a lot of problems, but was it a burden to you in any way? Did you struggle to find joy in it? Did you struggle to get out of bed to get there? If you enjoyed the job, I feel like when we're talking about this burden, it's understanding that you want to release your burdens around it, and hanging on to it, remaining attached to it, is going to become burdensome. We all need to mourn. We all need to grieve. That's healthy. That's natural and normal. But if we get caught up in that, if it takes us down and out and stops us from living, it becomes burdensome. And I feel like this burden card is really inviting everyone, whether you loved the job or you didn't like the job or everything in between. This is an invitation to cut the cord on your emotional attachment to what has transpired. Grieve, feel what you feel, and then decide how you want to feel moving forward. And sometimes it's a fake it till you make it kind of thing. I know not everybody agrees with that particular sentiment, but that is what I'm really getting here. Fake it till you make it. Cut the cord. Even if you don't know, how do I cut the cord? It's all about intention. Our words matter. Our words carry weight. It's contractual. Make a contract with yourself. Talk to your guides and say, I'm cutting the cord emotionally from this experience. And if this experience comes back, or if I have moments where the feelings bubble to the surface and I forget that I've cut the cord, remind me. Please put a thought in my head. Please distract me from that thought so that I can continue to move forward, because forward is the only place that I want to be. In that forward momentum, on to bigger, brighter, and better things. All right, Pal One, please know that you have my full support and my full compassion in what it is that you're going through. I'm so sorry that you've gone through this. I hope this reading has brought you some comfort, some peace, and a little bit of direction. And please don't forget your affirmation. I forgive those who have harmed me in the past, and peacefully but powerfully detach from them. And didn't we get that with the burden card? So it's being reinforced. And maybe that's going to be the come to Jesus moment for you guys, is in that I don't want to forgive. I want to gouge their eyeballs out, but I need to forgive them for me, because forgiving them means that I set myself free and I am moving forward into whatever it is that I'm going to create, and I'm going to kick ass and take names. I'm going to rock. I'm going to be even better than I ever could have imagined. And in the future, I'm going to look back on this and say, what a blessing. All right, Pal One. Take care, and we'll see you on the next video. Okay, Pile 2, you have chosen an Amazonite crystal, which it's in a lovely heart shape. I love these little crystals. And let's see what we've got for you guys today. The tarot deck that I've chosen for you is the Guiding Light Tarot. And the first question is, what do I need to know about this transition and how it serves my highest good? Oh yeah, and these cards are speaking to you. So we have the 10 of Pentacles. So what you need to know about this transition is that there is, I want to say, ancestry here, legacy here. I feel like your ancestors are helping you out. They're guiding you through this process. And I feel like what the message is around here is there's more for you that is going to be better. And you don't know it because you're not looking for it. And now that you don't have the, you're not in the position, you don't have the job, you aren't, I want to say, beholden to the governmental structure. Now you can be, I want to say, be open to the opportunity of what your ancestors are wanting to show, wanting to bring into your space. And this is really interesting because getting an ancestral message, an ancestral lineage, when it comes to what we're dealing with here in this political chaos, is fascinating to me. And what I really find interesting is the 10 of Pentacles in particular. 10s are new beginnings based on an already established foundation. And Pentacles energy is thoughts becoming things. It's the tangible, it's the health and the wealth. And what I'm feeling here right now, especially as we're talking about this transition and how it's going to help you, is I feel like it's showing you that you came to the end of your time with that anyway, that you would have overstayed your welcome, so to speak. You would have outgrown it, and perhaps you'd already, sort of outgrown it. I feel like Pile 1 had a little bit of that too. So if you're interested in that and you were drawn to Pile 1, you might want to watch Pile 1 as well. But 10 of Pentacles really is about arriving at a place that you always wanted to get to. And I know this is going to sound a little batshit crazy because nobody wants to be fired, and certainly nobody wants to be fired in this way, in such a slipshod way, in such a fast way. But I'm feeling from that spiritual perspective, your guides are saying this was in your divine blueprint. This was in the plan all along. You know, if you got to this particular point, this event was almost like kind of programmed in there to happen. There was going to be a catalytic moment like this because there is something for you on the other side that's much bigger and much more expansive and much more financially supportive than what this current job was. And I know, easier said than done, right? I keep telling our guides, like, listen, you know, you give us all these platitudes, you say all of these things like, oh, it'll get better and everything is awesome and, you know, don't worry, but you're not the ones here who are having the mortgage to pay and the rent to pay and the food on the table and all the bills and the stuff. But what this is saying is your treasure, your riches, your value and worth, it's all here for you. And being in that other place, I feel like it would have held you back. You wouldn't have been able to get to where it is that you want to go. Also, things come full circle. And I feel like for you guys, pile 2, I feel like there's going to be some comeuppance. There's going to be some level of vindication on the other side of this for you. I don't know when. I don't know specifically what, but I'm hearing that pile 2, each of you that's listening to this, there's going to be a moment when you're going to be like, see, there it is. And I'm not feeling bad for you. I'm not feeling sorry for you that you're going through this and that and the other thing, because you did the very same thing to me. You know, I've been through that before and sucks to be you. So not that we wish ill will on anyone. We don't. But let's face it, when something like this happens, it's really hard. And it's hard to not be angry. It's hard not to be frustrated, right? So let's keep it real. Our second question, how can I best process the emotions I'm experiencing around this loss? And I've chosen a Divine Feminine Oracle for this particular question because we need a little Divine Feminine in our lives, you know, that we are in the time of the Divine Feminine. I love this, Shekinah or Shekinah, the presence of the Divine Feminine. Oh my God. At the center of everything, there is light. And I am that light. Oh my goodness, pile 2. Okay, so it's remembering who you are. It's remembering your light. Remembering what you came here on this planet to do in this lifetime. And you didn't come here on this planet in this lifetime to solely work for the federal government. You didn't come on this planet to solely look for a stable, steady job. You came here for bigger things than that. The job is, I want to say, a symptom of life, or the job is a requirement of life while you are doing the purpose and the path. And I feel like Shekinah or Shekinah is coming up. I love the presence of the Divine Feminine. We were just talking about that. You got the Divine Feminine. I mean, the message couldn't be clearer. This is how you can process your emotions. I'm bigger than this. I was meant for more than this. In the grand scheme of things, this is small potatoes. And whatever I'm moving into next is going to be so much better, so much more fulfilling, so much more on purpose. And not to say, pile 2, that if you felt purpose in this most recent job, that you weren't on purpose, or that I'm taking that away from you. Please don't take that in that way. I don't mean that at all. What this is saying is, remember who you are. Remember who you are at a soul level, because we can get so caught up in the illusion. This is the illusion, the 3D, this life that we're living. It's the movie, it's the character, it's the scene. But who we are, who we really are, we're the actors that are playing those roles. What is the actor learning from the experience? How is the actor growing through the expression of their character? What have you learned through the expression of your character in this job? because you're going to use some of that in your next space and next place. Wow, so powerful. And I love all the gold, because the gold to me symbolizes and recognizes opulence, abundance. It's luxury. And I feel like this is what you're going into, not what you're coming out of. This is what you're going into. This is who you are. This is now going to come through you, come out of you and come through you and bless everyone around you as well as yourself. And the vehicle that it's doing that is through this 10 of Pentacles. What legacy are you now going to leave behind? Because this wasn't your legacy. This job wasn't your legacy. This is now opening you up to that new experience. All right, what hidden opportunities might this unexpected change be leading me toward? Eight of Pentacles. So pile 2, I got to tell you, Eight of Pentacles is the work card. Attention to detail, mastering your work, mastering your path, higher learning, higher education. And I feel like what this is basically saying is the hidden opportunity is going to be that you, pile 2, are going to be finding work pretty quickly. You're going to be finding new work. And I feel like half of you, maybe even a third of you, are going to find something, I want to say you're going to choose work that's similar to what you were already doing. So I feel like a third of you to half of you is going to find sort of corporate work or desk job work connected to this. So maybe an affiliate of the government, maybe a subsidiary of the government, maybe a government contractor company. So you'll be familiar with the work. The other half to 2/3, I feel you're going to be taking your own skill set separate from what you were doing in the job. And you're going to say, what are the skills that I wasn't using in that job that I really would like to use in the next? And I feel this energy of a desire to learn more, to be more, not to say that you weren't enough in this current position, but to say that now that this position is done, you're looking to say, how can I grow? How can I expand? And that Eight of Pentacles is mastery. So I want to say that, you know, that half to 2/3 or whatever, I should say that 2/3, me and math, I suck at math, that 2/3 to a half of you is going to say, you know what, I'm really going to use this to my advantage. Some of you I do feel are going to consider different programs, certification programs is what I'm hearing. Not necessarily going back to a college or a university type setting, but you're going to be considering certifications. And some of you are really going to be focusing in the money market, but not in traditional banking. So some of you really need to hear that message. All right, we've got now, how can I rebuild my confidence and sense of purpose after this experience? Two of Wands. I love Wands whenever we're talking about confidence and purpose, because Wands are passion, fire. It's the soul path, the soul journey, your soul's energy. It's the fuel that you use to work through your life. Wands is action oriented. It is, I want to say, it's very much divine masculine over divine feminine, but I want to say it's the divine feminine warrior energy. You know, it's kind of a nice blend. And the Two of Wands is a card of direction. And I feel like for you, when we're looking at this particular card, it's making a choice. And I feel like it's not so much that you, pile 2, are going to have like a choice between option A and option B necessarily. I don't feel like it's that on the nose. What I'm seeing here, though, is that it's an internal choice. And you're going to basically say, okay, I can choose to feel down and frustrated and depressed and you know, undermotivated and, you know, all the things and the stuff. Not to say that you shouldn't feel what you feel, because holy shitballs, right? But you don't want to get sucked down into that muck and mire for too long, right? So I can choose to get sucked down into that muck and mire. I can choose to only limit myself to looking for work that is similar to what I was doing before, or I can choose the different path, which is, all right, the shit happened. I'm unhappy with it, but what can I do? I have a choice here, and I can choose to move forward. And I feel like this Two of Wands with your confidence, it's when you make that choice within you, internally, within yourself, that opens things up for you in a really big way. And I feel like that's where your fuel, your motivation, your drive comes back. And I want to say a little bit of vengeance, a little bit of rage, a little bit of anger, or maybe a whole lot of anger that you might be feeling in this current situation and circumstance. It can be greatly channeled through the Two of Wands, because fire purifies. Fire clears the decks and creates a clear path for something new. So use that rage, that anger, use it to fuel your next choices. Ooh, I love that. Okay, now we're going to pull an affirmation card. And this is from the Sweet Ass Affirmations deck. So sorry, I'm just doing these for the first time and I can't seem to get the stuff off the damn table. Bear with me. All right, so Sweet Ass Affirmations, and they are sassy. And I thought, you know what? We could use a little sass in all of this, because I think that's how we're feeling. At least I know that's how I'm feeling about all this. So the affirmation that we are going to have here around what mindset shift will help me move forward with strength and clarity. I am my own source of happiness. My relationships are a bonus. Oh, guys, I love this for you. So kind of like what I was saying here, it's an internal choice. It's not about the external choice that you're waiting to present itself to you. It's that you're choosing it. I choose my own happiness. I'm the source of it. It comes from within me. Shekinah, the light within me. And everything else is a bonus. Everything else is the sprinkles on top of the icing on top of the cupcake. Because I am the cupcake and I am the icing. I don't need anything else, but the sprinkles are a bonus. So I want you to use this as your mantra when you are feeling low, when you're feeling down, when you're feeling frustrated about what's going on. This will help you with that mindset shift. And it is going to take maybe a few times around the merry-go-round of having to remind yourself, like, get out of bed. Okay, this is what it is, and you need that empowered verbiage. Because when we say it to ourselves, sometimes we have to say it 15 times before it sinks in, but it does something physically within our body, chemically within our body. It shakes things up and it helps us to rewire the brain. It helps our endorphins, and our endorphins help us with our fuel. So I am my own source of happiness. My relationships are a bonus. You are the presence of the divine feminine. Okay, what support or resources should I seek out to navigate this transition? So just hearing you don't need to be a psychic to know that LinkedIn is a pretty good place to look for jobs. But I am hearing for you guys, pile two, there are going to be some specific job offerings, postings on LinkedIn that are going to basically say, if you are a federal worker and you have been affected by the recent situation, we want to hear from you. Please apply. So I feel like you want to start looking for places, communities, people who are compassionate to your plight and who will say, here, let me help you out. Let me do what I can do. Oh, and I love it. And you got the strength card. And I want to say it's an 8. Another 8. So we have the 8 of Pentacles, and now we've got the Strength card. Strength is connected to Leo energy. It's also our inner child stuff. So I feel like when we're talking about this support and resources, it's leaning on your strengths, but also leaning on those who are strong around you, who say, hey, here's a helping hand. Take my hand, let me help you up. I also love the Strength card because it always is about the infinity sign, the infinity symbol, which lets us know that this life is the game, the vacation, the illusion, and our soul lives forever. So the experience that we're having now on that spiritual level is simply that. It's an experience. It's an opportunity for the soul to get to know itself in physical form. And if you can wrap your head around that, when you're dealing with these kinds of 3D, physical, sucky situations, what it does is it allows you to connect to that soul aspect of you and to talk to that inner child and say, all right, listen, I'm not negating how hard this is. I'm not saying it's not hard. But what I am saying is we were born for this. We were made for this. We've got it within us. We've got it within us. We just need to access it right now. And it's a choice. It's a choice. Everything is a choice. Right now, it doesn't feel like a choice. You know, you didn't choose to lose your job. I get that. I'm not saying that that part was the choice. It's your choice how you choose to respond or react to what life throws your way. And that's what this is pointing out. That's what this is all about. Okay, how can I reframe this situation as a chance for personal and professional growth? And we've kind of been talking about that actually with some of the reframe. I feel like a lot of it is like an opportunity for you to really connect with yourself, to remind yourself of who you are, remember where you came from, remember what your beliefs are. And now is a time as well, I want to say, for you to evaluate any limiting beliefs that you might have and throw them out the window. Start new and start fresh. Especially with this Eight of Pentacles, you're on a journey of mastery. You can take this and make it work for you. I want to say, take this situation by the balls and say, all right, this is the direction we're going to go, not this direction. Your card here, oh, I love it. You've got the Lover's card. So to reframe, the Lover's card is about choice, but the Lover's card is also about the reflection, how I see myself through your eyes, how you see me through my eyes, right? It's that when you are in relationship with another person, when you are connecting with another person or having an engagement or an interaction with someone, they're reflecting back to you parts of yourself that are unhealed. They're reflecting back to you what you are showing to them, and vice versa. There's a lot of that exchange. And I feel like you've got a lot of love to give. And this environment was not open to receiving that love in whatever way you wanted to share it. And the Lover says, all right, we have so much that we want to give and offer, so much that we want to show. We need an environment where we can show it. We need an environment where we can be ourselves, where we don't have to hide, where those reflections are sought out, where those reflections are acknowledged and revered and worked upon. And I feel like that's how you can reframe this, is by recognizing that the environment that you were in was not an accurate reflection back to you of the person that you want to become, the person that you really are inside. It was dulling your light because it wanted to stay in the darkness. It wanted to stay in that shadowed energy, or it wanted to stay in a controlled state. You know, I want you to stay in this box, and this is what it looks like, and you can only do this. You might have all sorts of other creative ideas, but this is the only thing we want from you. It's controlling. The Lover's card is not about control. The Lover's card is about choice. Oh, so interesting. Okay, now I'm going to pull an oracle card from the Lantern Oracle deck, and this is, what next step should I take to find stability and new opportunities? This one's standing out to me for you guys. Oh, I love this for you. Renewal. Regeneration begins with decay. Wow. So pile two, a lot of you were already feeling like, I don't know how much longer I can do this. I don't know how much longer I can slog on and, get this stuff done. The money is good. The pay is good. The benefits are good, but it's not feeding my soul. And so I feel like that next step to finding the opportunities for you, it's taking time right now to do renewal. Maybe not pushing yourself so much. Again, pile one got a little bit of this too. It's like, I think their message was like looking for a job for a particular number of hours in a day, not a lot, and then taking the rest of the day to bring in a little more fun or a little more perspective, or to get out of your head, to do things that aren't so like, oh my God, I have to find a job focused. Because what we put our focus to, we manifest. And if you're putting your focus to finding a job and you're doing that from a place of panic and anxiety and desperation, it's not going to be so successful. Whereas if you put in your time and then you're like, okay, and now I can go and do some other things, take advantage, renew, regenerate myself, go for lunch with friends, go on that vacation that I've not been able to do because I've been working so hard for so long. Go and volunteering at my kid's school that I've wanted to do for a while, or volunteering at the local soup kitchen. Whatever it happens to be, what is going to renew you and recharge you? Because you want to remember, this state is not always going to be this state. Everything shifts and changes. You won't always be here. So take the opportunity to recharge right now, because you're going to need that energy. You're going to need that recharge when you are ready to dive into your next job and your next role. And you're going to want to hit the ground running with that. So I feel like it's important, even if you just take 2 days or 2 weeks or 2 months, you want to take that time. Okay, how can I align myself with a career path that brings both security and fulfillment? 3 of Cups. Okay, so you're getting a similar message as well. It's all about you. You want to be connected with yourself and shining your light, and then you want to get out and have a little fun. The 3 of Cups is about celebration, connecting with others, community. And I feel like when you're going out for lunch with that friend and you happen to run into another group of friends and they're like, oh my God, what's going on? What's happening? Well, I was part of the federal workers. And so it's kind of been sucky, but it's a beautiful day and I'm excited to be out here having lunch. Oh my God, we need someone who does your this and that and the other thing. Why don't you come in for an interview? So I feel like you guys, pile 2, you're going to really be finding your next opportunities because you are going out and about in the world, because you're being seen, because you're living. It's going to be a more organic experience. If you're hiding out at home behind the computer, deciding that finding a job is your new full-time job, I don't feel that this is going to work for you in quite the same way. So why not have a little fun? It's a little bit of balance. You can do it. You can do it all. You can do a couple of hours of job search and then a couple of hours of cleaning the house and then get the fark out for a little bit. Go do something that lights your fire and floats your boat. Because, like I said, this isn't always going to be the case. And you want to take advantage as much as you can. Okay, so now we are going to get a keyword message for you here. And this is, what message does my high self have for me about my future? What is my key word of hope during this time? And these are cards from the Draconis Loqui from Raven Falon. Create! Yes! So I was talking about threes. I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but 3s are about creation. And I feel like you got the card create. So I'm also going to say to you, pile 2s, this is important because we are in a time of co-creation. We co-create the experiences we wish to have. And it's so important that you understand that on a visceral level. Every thought we have is a potential creation into the physical. So you want to be pure of thought. You want to be thinking about like any thoughts that you're having where you connect a feeling to it. You want to be thinking thoughts about the vision of what you want to have happen. not what is happening or what has happened in the past. I feel like that's a really important message for you to hear. It's not about manifesting what already has been, and it's not about trying to reclaim what has already been. It is a time to create something brand spanking new. And let me tell you guys, you've got this. You are your own source of happiness. You are the light. You are the light. Allow yourself renewal. Get out and have some fun, because you are going to be mastering before you know it. All right, pile 2, I hope that was helpful. I hope you are feeling more hopeful, more supported, with a little more direction and guidance. And please know that I'm with you and I'm sending you all of the love in my heart. Take care. Cello, my pile 3s. We have your beautiful charoite crystal here, beautiful purple color. And we are going to pull cards for you from the Tarot of the Divine today. And let's get to it here. And I just want to say, first of all, I'm so sorry that you are in the situation that you're in. And I mean, my heart goes out to you. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this, is to show my support, show solidarity, and to let you know that, I mean, obviously, you know, you're not alone, but to let you know that there is something even better coming down the pike for you. So let's take a look at what that is. Our first card here is, what do I need to know about this transition and how it serves my highest good? And we have the Page of Swords. So pages are about student energy, new beginnings, fresh starts. It's learner mind, beginner mind. It's also messaging. And swords energy is the realm of the mind, thought, intuition, intellect, communication. And that's what I'm feeling here is what you need to know about this transition is that it is moving you into something obviously that's going to be better for you, but I feel like it's moving you more in a more communicative direction, something where you're going to be able to communicate, you're going to be able to be seen and heard in a way that you didn't necessarily feel seen and heard in the position that you were in working for the government. And especially in this kind of batshit crazy time that we are in, politically, I don't know that anybody's being heard in this particular situation, but being in a governmental sector for work is certainly not going to allow you that space. So I feel like through this transition, it's giving you an opportunity to grow as a person, to connect to, I want to say, your soul, not purpose as much as your soul message, and shining that soul message out. And sometimes we have to go to environments that want to hear our message, that want to see us, that want to hear us, that want to be seen and heard. And I feel like where you guys were at, that was just not going to be possible anymore given the new environment. So as much as this sucks, quite frankly, and you guys didn't ask for this, I want to say in many ways, it is a gift. It is a blessing in disguise, because what you're moving into is a place where you are going to be more valued, honored, and revered for what it is that you contribute, rather than just being a cog in a wheel or feeling always like I could do more, but my hands are tied. I'm pretty limited. And for those of you, pile 3, who actually liked the predictability of the job, I want to say the sort of the standardized aspect of the job, that there wasn't a whole lot that you weren't expecting, I would say to you, the Page of Swords is coming through to say, let's take a different approach. Let's take a different perspective, because we don't grow when everything is the same. And I feel like this is the nudge to grow, to stretch outside the box, as it were. And when we look at this particular card, I feel like the wind, we're seeing a lot of the wind is blowing through. So I feel like the elements are supporting you. It's an intelligent move whatever move you're going to make when you allow the wind to take you, to carry you where it wants to take you. So I want to say, don't be afraid to be a leaf blown in the wind right now, not completely sure what exactly is next, because that's part of it, is you don't necessarily need to know. You just need to be carried on the wind for a little bit, because where the wind sort of lands you is going to be a fresh perspective, and it's going to present something that you never thought about before, you never saw before, or something, for some of you, something that you had gone down that path for a little while, but it was incomplete. You didn't finish that particular road, and now you're going to have an opportunity to come back around to that. So that feels really important. And for this second question, we're going to pull a divine feminine oracle card. So a little bit of goddess energy. How can I best process the emotions I'm experiencing around this loss? And this is a big one, because let's face it, we all have emotions around this stuff, right? I did not lose my job, and I am emotional for you on your behalf, and for, you know, people around the world that are having to go through this, right? So Fatima, the mother of imams, love is my lineage and gratitude is my religion. Oh, so this is just coming out in full force to say, process your emotions through focusing on what you are grateful for. Focus on what you have, not what you lack. And this is going to be really important in order for you to stay in that higher frequency and vibration. I'm really drawn in this card to the fact that most of the energy is white with the gold, but then you have this red color. Red is root chakra. So I feel safe, I feel secure, I have all of my needs met. I not only survive, I thrive. This red is kind of around her head. So I feel like it's the message from your guides saying, you're protected, your crown, your third eye chakra, your energy is protected. So go forth, connect with what you are grateful for, be in love, lead with your heart, and all will be well, because you are safe in doing so. Ooh, I love that. Also, I want to say you guys are going to have fits and starts with your emotions. Pile 3, I feel like more so than the other two piles, you're going to have some, you know, really high highs and some really low lows. Don't beat yourself up over this. I feel like when you've got those really low lows, where you want to go to is the gratitude. And when you've got those really high highs, you want to express that through your heart space out into the world, whether it's through volunteerism, through the job search that you're doing, through showering your loved ones with a little extra love and attention because you've got the time now. Whatever that happens to be. Money does not buy us kindness. Money does not necessarily buy us that time to shower a little extra love and affection and attention to the people we love. So I want to say, be grateful for this time, because this time will pass. Be grateful for this time and use it wisely. Okay, what hidden opportunities might this unexpected change be leading me toward? I always like the unexpected. Oh, interesting. The Hanged Man. Okay. So the Hanged Man, or the Hanged One, this is radical surrender. This is limbo. This is pause and breathe. So kind of like what we were getting here with the gratitude and saying, okay, whatever time I do have, I'm not going to focus on the lack. I'm going to focus instead on the vision that I want to create for myself, or I'm going to focus on my present moment. The Hanged Man is really inviting you to be present, because it's saying, listen, there's nothing more you can do. This is one of those situations where you've gone to the end of the road. You can't go any further until someone else makes a move, until someone else comes and opens that gate. And so in the meantime, you know, you don't know how long that's going to be. So in the meantime, make the most of your time. Read that book that's been sitting on your shelf for 3 years. Write that book that you've been wanting to write for so long, or start that blog. This is a time for you to really reconnect with self. And it's through the self-connection from that, I want to say, unworked perspective that brings you enlightenment. And that's what this is all about. It's the pause and breathe, the stillness, so that you can hear your own soul speaking to you, so that you can allow your heart to convey what the soul wants. And you'll be amazed at the clarity that comes through and how that clarity might shift the direction that you think you're taking. Pile 3s, more so than the other piles, I feel like you guys are going to be more apt to take a different path. And the only way you're going to know what that different path is and to feel more confident in that different path is by being quiet with yourself, staying still. That is the key. And I feel like that's what the Hanged Man is doing. Surrender to what is. Radical surrender to what is. And use this time wisely. Ooh, I love it when the similar messages come through. Okay, how can I rebuild my confidence and sense of purpose after this experience? This is a big one because, of course, your confidence is shaken. But I want to say to you, you weren't fired because you were doing a bad job. You were fired because some jackass decided that unilaterally you guys don't deserve the work. So don't take this from a confidence perspective. Don't take this as I'm not worthy. Instead, step into the energy of, oh, okay, yeah, you want to do it that way? Okay, well, watch me. Watch me succeed in spite of you. And I love that you got the Emperor card for that, because that's exactly it. The Emperor is the complete divine masculine energy. The Emperor says, I don't need permission to say, do, have, be, command whatever it is that I want. I don't need permission for that. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And I feel like you were affected by someone who thinks he's an emperor or a king. Take it back. Take back your power and be like, oh yeah, well, guess what? Nobody's the boss of me. You're not the boss of me. I'm the boss of me. And I'm a better boss than you because I lead with love. I lead with my heart, and I lead with intuition. Not necessarily that the Emperor specifically is about intuition, but the Emperor leads when he's in balance. The Emperor leads with intelligence, and I want to say with heartfelt intelligence. He makes choices that he believes are going to be what's best for the empire and the people within it. And you were affected by someone who was not in balance of their power. So be the opposite. Be the change you wish to see in the world. That's what this is inviting you into. Okay, now we're going to pull an affirmation. And this affirmation is from Sweet Ass Affirmations. It's a very sassy affirmation card deck. I absolutely love it, and I thought we could use a little sass here. So, what mindset shift will help me move forward with strength and clarity? Oh, I love this. You guys got, I am in love with all my parts. I am vibrant and sexy as fuck. And I love the Hawaiian hibiscus here. So I feel from that, with the Hawaiian energy, I feel a lot of that spiritual energy. Pele, goddess Pele, she's the goddess of fire, volcanoes. She brings in the fire. She brings in the anger. She brings in the rage and the frustration. And what she does is she transmutes it all. I am in love with all my parts. I am vibrant and sexy as fuck. She makes it work for her. And I feel like this is going to be a great mantra for you guys through your journey, through your search. And I want to say, I feel like you want to kind of take this and say, in spite of everything else that's gone on, in spite of, who this person thinks that they are, they're not going to win because I am in love with me. And if I'm in love with me, that means I'm going to go out and show the world who I am. And I'm going to attract to me the person, the job, the house, the city to live in, the works. I'm going to attract what I vibe at. And if I stayed at that job, I'd be vibing at your level. And I don't want to have anything to do with your level. I want to be in my level right here. So I am vibrant and sexy as fuck. Take advantage of that. Pele, goddess Pele, give it up for Pele. That's what I have to say. Give it up for Pele. Okay, what support or resources should I seek out to navigate this transition? King of Swords. Okay, another sword card energy. And the King of Swords is the master of his intellect. He can come across as a little bit cold, but he is determined. He's already done the work. He's made the plan. He's listened to his advisors. They've got a plan in action. And now he's like, all right, I'm not going to look backwards. I'm only going to look forwards. The past is the past. It's not going to help me now. Let's get this show on the road. And, you know, given whatever transpires, I need to be in the present moment right now. I need to be sharp, and I need to be focused, because if the plan does go awry, it's not about me going back to the past or undoing what was done. It's about me moving forward by making a different choice in that moment that I can only make in that moment from an intuitive perspective. So when we are talking about that support and resource that you should seek out to navigate the transition, I feel like you want to seek out individuals who are clear on their path, who can hold that space for you, who can help you to not fall back into the past, to not look at the lack of what you do not have, to focus on what you do have and what you want, because what you have and what you want, the space between them is the step that you want to take to get towards the what you want. And this King of Swords energy is going to help you with that, because he's going to say there's no point in going backwards. There's no point in crying over spilled milk. Where do you want to be now? That's how we forge ahead. And we do it intelligently. We don't overthink, we don't overanalyze, but we do make smart, calculated risks. And I feel like that's what you want to really be tapping into with that. Also, in terms of resources, I think I talked about it a little bit before. I feel like there's something for you guys on LinkedIn where you're going to, in LinkedIn, where people are going to be saying, hey, you know, if you were affected by this, we want to hear from you. And I also feel like if you're going out and you're having lunch with friends, you're finding people in a more organic way as well. So I feel like I just got pile 2 and pile 3 mixed up in my brain. But anyway, obviously something that you needed to hear. But that is our King of Swords. Don't be afraid to move forward. Don't look back. King of Swords never looks back. And how can you reframe this situation? Let me make sure that I'm on the right track here. Sorry, it's my first time doing this, so I want to make sure that I'm doing the right things here. Yeah, okay, I'm good. How can I reframe this situation as a chance for personal and professional growth? Reframing is so important, and we don't do it enough, I think. Oh, I love it. Justice. Ooh, okay. So I feel like a lot of you in pile 3 here are really going to choose the path of vindication. I feel like a lot of you are going to step up and say, this shit isn't right. And once I get myself situated and I'm standing on solid ground, I'm coming back for you. So look out, watch out, wait for it. I feel like the justice is going to come through your actions, through your beliefs, through your fire energy, your soul essence that is going to be expressed through your heart space. But what I'm hearing is kill them with kindness. Now, I don't mean that we need to throw kindness on someone who's being, completely belligerent and violent. I always like to say, like, compassion doesn't mean I'm a doormat. Compassion doesn't mean I let you walk all over me or I permit bad behavior. It's the same thing with kindness. I can be kind to you and be very curt and firm and boundaried. I can do it in a kind way, but I can still be firm in my belief. I can be firm in what I know to be true. I can be firm in taking what I know I'm entitled to. And I feel a lot of like sovereign energy here, which is interesting because justice has nothing to do with the sovereign. Energy, justice is blind, right? Lady Justice is blind, unemotional, detached from an emotional perspective. And I feel that you will be getting there, but I feel like you'll be using some of the anger to fuel that first. And I do feel pile 3 that there are some activists in there, in this pile. So if you resonate with that, and that works for you, I want to say own that shit, because you are going to get the vindication. You're not going to get your job back necessarily, although some of you might. But I don't know that you'd want the job after all of this, right? Like, I feel like there's now it's kind of like, okay, them's fighting words. Now you just made me mad. And so it's the principle of the thing, right? So you are using emotion to get you started, and then you're detaching from the emotion and you're going based on the facts. Here are the facts. Here's how I'm feeling about it. Here are the facts of the case. And let's get this show on the road. I am in love with all parts of myself. Right? I'm in love with all my parts. I don't need you. I am vibrant and sexy as fuck. You're not. And let me use this vibration to counteract the hatred, the vitriol, the injustice that you are spreading. Okay, now we're going to pull a card from the Lantern Oracle deck. What next step should I take to find stability and new opportunities? Perspective. A calm and clear mind is free to see differently. And I think we got something else around. Yeah, the Hanged Man. The Hanged One is a shift in perspective as well. So how can you, what next step should you take to find stability? I feel that for you, it's that fresh perspective. And I feel like most of you in pile 3 are not going to be seeking out jobs and roles that are overly similar to what you were doing before. I feel like a lot of you are going to have this fresh perspective and decide, you know what, since this has happened anyway and the tower has fallen, why don't I pursue the path that I never gave myself permission to before? You know, why don't I look at maybe not having to work 40 hours a week? Maybe I can get a 30-hour-a-week job and have a little more time to myself. Maybe I want to do equal parts volunteering and equal parts working somewhere. Maybe I want to open my own business. The perspective, I feel, is the key to your path, to what you're going to do moving forward. So don't automatically go into the tried and true, what I know to do, go on LinkedIn, you know, apply for jobs, hope that I get an interview. Think outside the box. That's a message that keeps coming through for you guys too. Again, you can take calculated risks. Take calculated risks, because those calculated risks will pay off because you're calm and you're clear. And when you're calm and clear, when you are detached emotionally, the emotion brought you to the thing, but now that you've expressed the emotion, now you're funneling it and you're resolved in that. You have perspective around that. And you're calm and clear in the direction. That's going to take you so far. Okay, how can I align myself with a career path that brings both security and fulfillment? Oh, I love it. I was wondering if she was going to pop up. The High Priestess. So the High Priestess, where the Emperor is, I want to say, very don't need permission and intellect and physical. She is all about the intuition. Yes, she's in the physical, as above, so below, but she's the oracle. She receives the information and she doesn't judge it. She doesn't edit it. She delivers the information exactly the way she sees it. And there is some duality here because it is as above, so below, but it's not duality from the perspective of extremes and black and white. It's more duality from the perspective of, yeah, there are opposites on this planet. How do you work within the gray? You work within the gray by listening to your intuition and then applying that intuition, applying that wisdom, applying that inspiration into the physical to see what it can become. And so I feel like the High Priestess is inviting you here in terms of alignment to say, trust your intuition. Don't pick a job based on your ego and your fear. Don't pick that job based on what you're hearing in your head, which of course is the ego voice, right? Go based on what is my inner guidance trying to tell me? What is my inner guidance trying to lead me to? if I keep getting all of these no's with a job that is similar to what I had before that I really wasn't happy with anyway, then that's part of my intuition telling me, course correct, steer in a different direction, cast a wider net, look for different jobs that have more creativity in them, or a different approach, again, perspective, a different perspective on the work that you were doing. So the high priestess really wants you to not think. She wants you to receive and then to process what you receive through that inspirational, imaginative mind. Those are the action steps you want to take. Don't judge the message. Don't edit the message. Just receive the message and take one step towards it so that you can see what it wants to become and you understand what it is that it's trying to convey to you. That is hugely important. Okay, we're going to pull a final card here, and this is from the Draconis Loqui deck. What message does my high self have for me about my future? What is my key word for hope during this experience? Oh, interesting. Pile 1 got this card as well. So it's the card of burden. And what I keep hearing here for you guys is you being removed from this situation has removed a very heavy burden on you energetically as well as emotionally. It was quite taxing on you to have to navigate the emotional waters just in general, even before all of the political nonsense and shenaniganery started. And once that shenaniganery started, it was almost unbearable having to come in and people almost like being silent, walking through the halls and, nobody knowing what to say and what to do and feeling like you have to jump when someone says how high. And it's not a pleasant experience. So the hope here is that you have removed burdens. I'm seeing the oxen, right? That had those heavy, I don't know what they were called, but the wooden things on their backs, the chains to keep them together and have to, the beasts of burden, having to carry things up the hills and things of that nature. All of that's been removed from you. See this whole experience as freedom. Freedom for you. It's removed the burden so that you can now create your life in your own image. In the image of and the vision of what you've always wanted to have. Now is your time. Pile 3, that's what I've got for you guys today. I hope that you found this reading helpful. I hope you found it hopeful. I hope you found it comforting and supportive. And please know that my heart goes out to you. I am with you, and it is absolutely going to get better. Don't lose sight of your vision. You are worth it. Take care.